right here. See how it drops, guys? Goes back to July. Boom. I just wondered if that was a software glitch or... You see it dropping right there, guys? Maybe it's a software glitch. But notice too, and it's fast, but the date when this drops is September 1st. Now I'm very, very, very new to all this stuff. I've learned a lot from you guys, you and Wayne, Steve. But I didn't know if the sun drops out of its current spot.
Hi everybody, it's September 13th, evening time. This is Steve Olson, WSO. Basically, wanted to just kind of get back to some of the bread and butter observations that we have and take your attention back to the Near Earth Object Program, which is the website right here. Basically, one of the observations that we've been kind of tracking, and I just wanted to show you some raw data, that an awful big majority of these asteroids have been discovered in 2016. And you can tell when one of the asteroids or objects have been discovered in the year it's discovered is because it's in its name. So 2016 got discovered in 2016. What's interesting, when I took a look at this today and did a little bit of an analysis, what I looked at was that with the exception of 3 in the next several days between now and the 18th, we've got a lot of activity that's been discovered just recently. Just a couple of these have been discovered just prior to March 2016, and the rest of these are just recently seen. So again, it's one of those kind of things where you got to keep your eye on the ball a little bit, because if we're seeing all this activity, it just, a lot of things are adding up to a risky period. And I think you have the right to know about it. I'm not trying to get you into a fear mode or anything like that. I'm just trying to be serious that a lot of the stuff they're seeing right now, they're discovering just recently. That means that their techniques are getting better, maybe it means that they're seeing more objects, but it just is something that we've got to keep an eye on together. Okay? So let's go on to the next thing here real quick.
Now, I ain't got enough time in the world to prove to everybody that, for one, there's a reason it's blocked. And look at that. Are you kidding me?
Okay, guys. So put everything else aside for a second, and I want to show you some footage from Thorn Bay yesterday. And I want you to notice that we're seeing an orb and it rotates. Watch. I pushed up the gamma on this so you could see the rotation of the orb. That's all I did. And then I really pushed it up so you could see the orb has surface features. And then I reran it with a different gamma setting just to see if I could get a better picture of what was, if I could get a picture of any of the features of it. Here's one that's kind of interesting because it shows a very, like, I don't know, almost like a, what would you call that? I don't know, like rain? I don't know, man. It's weird, right? So let's just check this out. And it does appear to be rotating in both of those different settings. And it is, like I said, these aren't things that we make up. This is stuff I'm getting off the government website. It's not a camera anomaly because I've got the gammas turned way up. And then I come over here and I can see it's behind the clouds, man. Okay? I mean, it's just plain as day, you guys. And they're trying to chemtrail it as well. So why are we trying to show you all this stuff? Well, because, dude, they're not going to tell you. Somebody's got to tell you. And would you rather this be a surprise on you when this happens? I don't think so. So, and this gives you time to get right with God, get your situation correct with your heart, and have peace with the universe, and be in a place that's ready to freaking deal with this stuff mentally and physically. And man, I'm telling you guys, don't take any kind of mark or any kind of a, weird thing when the cataclysms or the announcements or whatever this stuff comes. They're letting us see just enough information here, you guys, so that we can kind of, have a heads up. Unfortunately, the size of our audience is relatively small, but it's out there, man. I mean, we're not making it up. It's true, okay? It's pretty interesting stuff. And then the science geek in me just says, wow, that is freaking trippy as hell, isn't it? Jeez. Guys, I have to draw your attention to a website that was just brought to my attention. The name of the web or the YouTube channel is Dave B. Basically doing a study on the Sao Paulo, Brazil sighting here from recent webcam footage. So what I want to do is bump it up for you so that you can see it, and we'll just let it play, and you can kind of see what's going on here. This is very compelling. Now we'll want to look for some kind of a, first of all, it came up from behind the mountain. Both of those did come back up. And then it actually does leave a shadow in the water. I think the event's getting close, guys. And I think this guy's right. I don't think that it would have been necessarily visible to the naked eye. It might have just picked up some of the IR range from this picture. Time's getting short, man. Wow. Let's just follow Chancellor Merkel's advice and the Czech president's advice and all these guys' advice, and just stock up on a little food and water. You know what I mean? Just make your Uncle Stevie feel better and have some water and food laying around. Have a plan to make sure that your family gets together, has a connection point, a meet-up point, that you all know how to get a hold of each other in an emergency. You have some central place where you all agree to meet if something goes down. This is getting real serious now. I'm just telling you. I don't know if we're going to be able to see this with our naked eye anytime soon. But again, if you want to check this channel out, get more information on the author and whatnot, it's Dave B, and I will leave a link below. Like I said, guys, it's time to get right with Jesus Christ, man. It really, really is. Sorry I got to do this to my atheist and other religion friends, but this might be a good time for us to see what Jesus, the prophet, Jesus, in my opinion, he's God, but other people will definitely recognize him as a prophet. And he said, he was telling his disciples about when Jerusalem was surrounded by armies, her complete destruction is near. He was talking about what's going to be the sign of his coming. And one of the things that always stood out to me in this these passages in Luke 21, is that the part that he talks about, there will be signs attesting miracles in the sun and the moon and the stars. In the earth there will be distress and anguish among the nations, in perplexity at the roaring and the tossing of the sea and the waves. People fainting from fear and expectation of the dreadful fears coming on the earth, other things coming on the earth, for the very powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with great glory. Now when these things begin to occur, stand tall and lift your heads in joy, because the suffering ends as your redemption is drawing near. So, on the one hand, as Christians, we're bummed out that we live in the end time. Some of us think it's an adventure. Some of us think it's kind of cool. I think it's tragic that we're going through this process, right? But I do want you to know that it is available to you to be standing tall with your head lifted up in joy, no matter how hard your suffering is now or how hard your suffering is going to be, because your redemption is drawing near, guys. I'm here to tell you it is drawing near. So put your hearts in his hands. That is Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. Put your heart into his hands. Trust me, man, guys. This really, 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 really works. And just rest in him. And feel that joy well up in your hearts. And I hope that we can all see each other someday on the other side as this all these events transpire over whatever period of time it's going to take for it to happen. But we all know, that this is all kind of coming down. And Jesus talked about it, and many other religions did as well. So, good night, and I hope I've given you something to think about. Cheers.